This is crazy. So the camera doesn't work anymore, but I'm gonna go ahead and do this. So the camera doesn't work anymore, but I'm gonna go ahead and do this. I have no idea if it's actually recording, but here we go. Welcome back to How to Be a Real Man. This is another episode of Getting Back to the Toilet. You see, the little lady had me over months ago, and I fixed the problem, kind of, sort of. So I'm back. It took a few months for the little lady to muster me up, but here I am. She was kind of foolishly using this toilet as an appliance, you know, with an on and off switch. So whenever she had to use the toilet, she would just use the little tap and turn it on, do her business, and then flush, and then let the tank fill up with water and turn it off again. So most people would think it's quite a nuisance. When you deal with your own shit, you just get comfortable with things that are rather uncomfortable. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to use this this waterproof silicone that I bought ways back when I was filling the hole that was leaking water outside. So we're going to use this, and we're going to put these little caps on the bolts of the toilet that bolts it into the ground. They often fall off and get dirty and disgusting, and so we're just going to put those back on. I know this seems like a woman's job, but it's a toilet, so it's a man's job. Let me do that now. So we just need to wipe down this surface. A little bit of dog hair, no problem. So it always takes a little bit of prep work before you do any real man's job. Put a little silicone around the edge here. Good enough. Done. Okay, so we're back, and we've got those little knobbly things on, and we're ready to do the man's stuff. And the little lady bought this a couple months back. Looks like she wasn't so dumb after all. We are going to be installing this. This is not our first time because we're men. And we just know automatically, by nature, how to do these kinds of mechanical things. So I will just be removing this bolt here at the bottom, and this is the bolt and the washer that will go, thank you for the light. This is the bolt and the washer that will go somewhere inside the whole thing. So, the first thing we need to do is we need to remove this top of the toilet. The water is already turned off, so I'm going to do a last and final flush to remove the water from this area. And next thing I'm going to have to do is remove all of the water from this area. So, let me get I think I'll get a cup and start to remove the water from this tank area. And try to open the bottom. Here we go. Next thing we gotta do is get that bolt off. Alright, I'm back. Oh no, I need my glasses. Shit. Where's my glasses? Oh, great. I'm recording with your glasses. They're outside, I bet. Catchies! Alright, let me just make sure. Shit. Alright, so you just missed a big part, but I really couldn't deal with the camera and deal with all the excitement. So we got a hold of this wrench, and I took out the bottom bolt of the toilet, no problem. It was easy to do. And I have a little bowl under here, if you can see. There's the bowl. I have now removed, come on, up here, there we go. I've now removed, oh, almost removed. Look at that. There's the stinking piece. No longer working, simple as pie. We are now going to install the new, better, more girly piece. Excellent. So here we go. Stay tuned. Alright, so we're back and I want to show you a close-up of the inside of the guts of this toilet. We have a gasket here. Where's the fucking gasket here? Where's the gasket? Ah, the gasket, the gasket, the gasket. So we've got the gasket here, and we need to clean around. We need to clean around the base of where this gasket lies, so we can form a great clean seal between this gasket and the ceramic toilet, so we have no leakage. Here we go. Okay, so when you're putting, oops, whoops, all right. So when you're putting in the new hardware, you're going to want to pay attention to whether it's a nylon fixture or a plastic fixture. The nylon fixture is going to behave differently than the plastic fixture. It will. There's no need for this Teflon tape. There's no need for this Teflon tape. This is primarily used for metals. So this will not be needed. We can just go ahead and make sure, as long as the seal is nice and clean, this can be attached to the toilet as is. We also must discuss that it must be hand tightened. If you use a wrench or something of this kind, then you will find, you might find some broken or overstressed pieces of hardware. So you do want to do all your tightening by hand, but it's okay because we have really strong man hands and we can handle the job. Alrighty, so there's no light here. Come on, Mr. Light. Come on, Mr. Light, work with me. Alright, we're going to go ahead and show you how this is the gasket, and it forms, and it's got a nice little ridge on it, and it forms there inside the base of the toilet, forming a nice seal. This here is the washer, and here's the bolt at the bottom. So you just want to unscrew this here just like this, no problem. Alright, take this off, and we're going to place this inside the hole of the toilet. This should be a fairly simple job, so here we go. Alright, so the next step, now that we're looking nicely inside the toilet, we've placed the new fixture right inside. We've taken this clip and placed it right here as instructed. We're also cleaning inside the ridge of this, all around the ridge, to make sure that there's no buildup. So it looks like we're pretty good to go. We've removed the buildup. We've clipped this on the correct way. This is in the right orientation. I guess the next step is we put the bolt on the bottom. We are now underneath the toilet. You can see that this has been removed. And this is kind of the only worry here I have. It is a Sunday and I can't go to the hardware store to get a new one of these. So I'm hoping that this valve, they usually need replacing every 3 years or so, but I'm hoping this one is about 6 years old and that I will not have to replace it. This is the line, not the valve. This is the valve down here. This is the line that needs replacing every few years. So after I hand tighten this back up here,
we're going to have to do a little leak test to make sure that it's not leaking under here and that this is okay. So,
all right, no fear, it's all hand tightened, just finished, and there is this extra piece here with a washer inside. This is not necessary to use because on the end of my line it's all together. This is on the end of the line, so you can't remove it. I will keep this piece in case I need it later. So this is the big test. We have installed this new piece here, if you could take a look. So we're ready to go, test this thing out. The next step is that I turn the water valve back on and the tank fills up with water and we see if we have a successful job and no leaks. Here we go. Ooh, pretty scary. Quite excited about this. Here we are, filling up. Not bad at all. Oh, what's going to happen when it reaches the top? I don't see any leakage. That means my man hands tightened it good. All right, it's going to stop. Here we go. You ready? Yes! I know. Men aren't supposed to get too excited about these things, so I'm going to be low-key about it. And the job is done. Okay, I'm now going to explain this to you folks out here a little bit more about what's happening inside the guts of this toilet. So here is where the water fills up to. On the side here, there's actually, I don't know if you can see it, a little reading to say that the water line is here. You don't want to fill it up too high or it'll come out of this hole here where the flusher is. So you just want to keep that in mind, water level in the hole where the flusher is. The other thing is this thing. These are made all over the world. They're all different. They're not standard. So you might want to adjust it once you have it installed. You can use a little screwdriver, a little Phillips head. Get right in there and adjust the height. But this seems to be working fine. Now we're going to do a little test. We're going to check to see if this thing is operating nicely. Here we go. I'm pleased. We did a little paper towel down here. I'll show you to make sure that a little dry paper towel. And if there's any drips after this flushage, we'll know because the paper towel is bone dry. Seems to be bone dry. That means it's a job well done. Well, we really put this to test, and we're going to say it's been a good test. All right. So that wraps up another edition, part 3 of How to Be a Real Man. Thank you for coming and learning how to take care of emergencies and how to put out fires. What real men do. So the last thing we got to do is we take this and we put it back on the top. This old thing, you can soak it in vinegar if you'd like, and all this calcium buildup will come off and you can reuse it, or you could throw it away. We don't like to waste, so it will go into the junk pile. Because all good men have a junk pile. You never know when something could be useful. We don't waste. So thank you very much for coming out. I'll see you next time there is a fire or some major problem that needs to be solved. I'm sure it will happen fairly soon. So we'll see you real soon.